Welcome to the One Life Podcast with Becca White. This is episode 111, The First Responder. I have mentioned that I work as a hospice chaplain. Recently, I was preparing to visit a patient and their family who were atheist. Understandably, when a family receives news of a loved one's life-limiting illness, it can cause a crisis response. This particular patient was young and had many extenuating and painful circumstances outside of the diagnosis. As I drove to their home, I mourned for their situation and contemplated how I could possibly bring spiritual and emotional support to this precious family without being able to share my hope in Christ, who is my spiritual and emotional support. How could I bring Christ to them without using the language of Christ? Now, I have served many families of many different faith traditions and even of no faith. But in this complicated situation, I did not know how to proceed. In my contemplation, the Spirit whispered to me, He is already there. Christ was already there. This was something I had not considered previously. But as we learn in Alma 7, verses 11 and 12, which states, quote, Christ shall go forth, suffering pains and afflictions and temptations of every kind. And this, that the word might be fulfilled, which saith that he will take upon him the pains and the sicknesses of the people. And he will take upon him death, that he may loose the bands of death which bind his people. And he will take upon them their infirmities, that his bowels may be filled with mercy according to the flesh, that he may know according to the flesh how to succor his people according to their infirmities. End quote. I was again reminded that Christ did not come only to save and succor Christians, but all of humanity. And of course, Jesus Christ is the first responder in all crisis situations. He is already there. So back to this precious family. If Christ is already there, then my task as the chaplain changed. I no longer needed to bring Christ to them. I only needed to interpret and communicate his love and peace for them in a way that they understood. I entered the home with an increased capacity to hold space for and to love this precious patient and family. And how beloved they are. It was a treasured experience to see them as Christ does. You know, when we see another human in crisis, we can often feel the burden to jump in and fix. And our inability to fix some situations causes us to retreat because we cannot, quote unquote, help. But what if, as Christians, our job is not to fix others' situations, but to trust Christ as the first responder and work with him to interpret and communicate his love and peace in a way that others understand? The invitation today is to remember that Christ is the ultimate first responder. When you have a crisis situation, you are not alone. He is already there. And when we encounter another human in crisis, the invitation is to show up as a second responder, willing to do the work of the one who is already there. Until next time, keep living your best life.